Creating boundaries for your business can be hard, but not for you because you subscribe to Her Messy Bun Creative Consulting. And today we are discussing all things boundaries. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Her Messy Bun. I'm Danielle, your go-to creative consultant and brand specialist that helps you create a sustainable business through setting boundaries. Here's the thing. Creating boundaries this far along in your life can feel difficult and like you're going against the grain. However, what's really happening is that you're fighting back again against the people-pleasing mentality that was instilled in you from a very young age. How do you know if you need to create a boundary for your business though? First off, if you are asking that question, that probably is the first sign that you need to listen to today's episode and create some boundaries for yourself, unless you're just unaware of the boundaries that you already have created for yourself, which could quite possibly be the case. Here are 3 signs that you need to create a boundary for your business and an example of how to do that. The first one is the classic, can I pick your brain? If you are someone that allows your brain to be picked by potential clients who never end up working with you, that is a sign you need to create a boundary. Listen, I'm all for free content and free value. However, this is a huge thing when it comes to consistently picking your brain. My Consciously Creative membership has monthly group coaching calls. These are the clarity calls, answer me this calls, give me validation calls. Hey, I have an idea, but need some advice calls. The can I pick your brain calls? I've been struggling to convert. Can you check this out calls? The list really goes on and on until you meet an exception to that rule. So an exception to that rule could be if you wanted to squeeze in something from another service that I already offer. This is a necessary boundary you'd want for multiple reasons. So you don't hold resentment for that client, but also so you are retaining your value within each areas of your business. Whatever the case might be, this is extremely important because you need to be able to set those boundaries so you never feel like somebody's crossing the line and that you can both show each other respect continuously down the line. Number 2 is booking calls outside of your preferred time frame. If you are booking calls whenever the client wants versus the time frames that actually fit your schedule, you are asking for burnout. So let's fix that. A simple boundary that you can set in place is using a scheduling platform that not only provides very specific times that you choose, but it also allows the client to see exactly what times you're available for without you having to hold this conversation. I use Calendly to book all of my calls. It easily connects to my calendar and allows you to set up rules as well. So like if I'm not available for a very specific time, or if I don't want calls back to back and I want them to be scheduled 30 minutes in between, or if I need an hour in between, that's very nice. For me, I've learned that I cannot accept anything without a 24-hour notice. And this rule allows me to have a prepared schedule and work without rushing. There is one time, I'm just totally sidetracking right now, but there is one time that I didn't have this rule set into place on Calendly and somebody booked day of, and I just felt like my entire schedule got flipped upside down and on its ass. And so that call was not the best call that I could give for that client. And I even told them like, I'm so sorry. Like I just was not expecting to have a call today. This is my fault. If you would like to have a better client experience with me, I would much prefer to do this tomorrow if you're available. And they totally understood. So I set a boundary within unwritten boundary. And then from there, I ended up creating the 24-hour notice rule. If you've purchased any of my guided intuitive calendars, you know that scheduling your day around your energy is extremely important and that I cannot talk more about it. But when working on creating sustainable systems and schedules for yourself, you really need to have this boundary set in place because you need to know when you are mentally available for people and when you are energetically available to give them your best, because I just don't think it's fair to allow a client to work with you when you are not at 100% and you could have given them better advice or you could have given them stronger strategy. And finally, number 3 is lowering your pricing because somebody cannot afford it. Now, I'm not talking about running a sale or a discount. I'm talking about listening to someone say over and over that they really want to work with you, but they just can't afford it. And as an entrepreneur in your early years, you might be unknowingly convinced to lower your prices so that you can land a sale that day. And especially in your early years, you are most likely needing that sale. So you will lower your price. If you are lowering your prices just so someone will buy from you in that moment, then you need to create a boundary for yourself before you end up falling into imposter syndrome with price points that do not align with the work that you have put into it and the work that it took to create your product and service. You are just going to end up creating resentment for yourself, which will then lead to the imposter syndrome I just mentioned. And then later on will make you feel like you are not worth what a high ticket price point could be for you. An easy boundary you can create is to always have a low cost offer that aligns with your higher ticket offers. This is beneficial in two ways. The first one is if somebody really can't afford your high ticket item, then you have something else to offer them and that they can potentially afford. If they still can't purchase or don't purchase that from you, you have a better read on what that kind of business relationship will be with them later on. Now, just because somebody doesn't purchase your low cost item does not mean that it wasn't A, affordable, but it could also mean that B, it still was not affordable for them. And that's totally okay. That doesn't necessarily mean that you just stop working or stop providing free content to this specific person that didn't purchase from you, but it could also mean that they're just not emotionally or mentally ready to work with somebody and put money into investing in their business or in themselves. Number two is if somebody can afford to buy your high ticket item, you now have a low cost funnel item that they may want to also purchase. This is part of the purchase funnel, and it creates a higher sale for you in the long run. There are so many more boundaries that I think people pleasing business owners really need to have set in place, but I really want to hear from you. Head to my Instagram and send me a message letting me know or telling me where you feel walked on in your business, where you're struggling to say no, or overall feel like you need a boundary. And I will create a part 2 to sharing all of my suggestions of how to create a boundary for your specific needs. Until next time, thank you so much for listening. I'm Danielle, your go-to creative consultant. If there's anything else you need, as always, email me at Her Messy Bun or go over to Her Messy Bun on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you guys. Bye.